Hey there, in this video we will talk about synovial joints, also known as diarthrosis, meaning freely movable joints. First is the bone, the yellow and red area, which is mostly made up of calcium. It provides a frame for the attachment of tissues and muscles. It also provides protection and movement. The outer layer of the bone is called periosteum, the yellow area, which is made up of fibrous and cellular layer that separates the bone from tissue. The articular cartilage, which is the purple area, is a slick and smooth surface which prevents actual bone-to-bone contact. The synovial membrane is made up of areolar tissue that is covered by an incomplete layer of epithelial tissue, the green area. The synovial fluid originates from the areolar tissue of the synovial membrane and acts as a lubricant and reduces friction, the blue area. The joint cavity is between the articular cartilage, which contains the synovial fluid. As shown here in the scapula, origin is at the fixed attachment of an immovable part of the bone, the green area, and insertion is located at movable ends of a muscle. The range of motion is where a joint can do a full extension or a full flexion. The hinge joint is a joint that permits angular motion in a singular plane, such as the elbow and knee. The saddle joint has a complex articular face and fits together. Each face is concave along one axis and convex along the other, such as the thumb. The condylar joint is a joint wherein they have an oval articular face nestled within a depression of the opposing side. The radiocarpal joint is an example. The pivot joint is a joint where only rotation is permitted. The atlas and axis serves as a perfect example of a pivot joint, which the transverse ligament, the red part, allows the nodding no. The gliding joint is where its surfaces are flattened or slightly curved that slide across one another, but movement is very slight. An example would be the vertebrae and the vertebral discs. The ball and socket joint is where one bone has a round head, such as a humerus, and rests in a cup-shaped depression of the glenoid fossa from the scapula. This includes the hip and the shoulder. There are three different types of class levers: the first class lever, the second class lever, and the third class lever. An example of the first class lever would be tilting the head back and forth. A second class lever example would be raising and lifting from the toes. Third class lever example will be flexing the biceps. In each class we have, for example, the first class we have the fulcrum that lies between the applied force and the load. In the second class we have the load, which is between the applied force and the fulcrum, and in the third class lever we have the fulcrum, applied force, and load, which applied force is between the load and the fulcrum. Lastly, mechanical advantage is where resistance of force is over applied force.